mines, and we were very frightened. Now the village and fields around have been cleared by Handicap International, and we have been able to come home.
Vast areas of land and some 100 villages were in the mine danger zone. Work is continuing, such as here at Gunum.
Now we can start growing maize, millet and groundnuts. It's been 20 years since we were able to cultivate our land. During that time, not a single crop has been harvested here. The seasons came and went, but nobody dared to set foot in the area.
Since the rebel MFDC movement agreed a peace accord with the Senegalese government in 2004, 200 square kilometers have been cleared. Over the years, the mines caused 800 casualties, both civilian and military.
I appeal to all the forces involved in those unfortunate events arising from a misunderstanding and mismanagement going back several years. At last, we Senegalese are talking to each other to resolve this among fellow countrymen from different backgrounds. We need to take action here and now.
It was regarded as the best hope to avoid a civil war in Syria, but the peace plan drawn up by Kofi Annan has collapsed. The dramatic development was triggered by the crumbling of a proposed ceasefire. The commander of the Peace Monitoring Force, General Robert Mood, has said that fighting between the two sides poses a real threat to the lives of his men, prompting the United Nations to suspend the peace plan. The country, as we hear in this report, now faces a real challenge as government and rebel forces continue to fight.
وجود المراقبين لم يقدم شيء للشعب السوري، بل على العكس. أما وجود
Many apologies for the wrong language dubbing on that report. We're going to take another break now. We'll take a look at the sports in just a moment.
His Excellency Sheikh Professor Al-Hadi
Reverend Hannah Karen Falheim.
The votes of the permanent secretary.
There is direct relationship between the economic growth of a country.
And this 5-hectare maize field that you are seeing here in Ilyasa village.
No matter how, where, when and who is involved, our corps of reporters will always be there to bring you the news as it happens.
Welcome back to Grts News, and now to the sports now. Conceding 2 goals in 6 excruciating minutes against Algeria is incredible. Gambia coach Luciano Mancini tells State TV less than 24 hours after the Scorpions jetted into Banjul. After a difficult week in World and African Nations Cup qualifiers, the Gambia is out of the African Nations Cup qualifiers after losing 6-2 on aggregate to Algeria. Ababukar Senghor reports.
First half of 2012 will best be remembered as the darkest period in Gambian football. 5 international games, 4 defeats and a single draw which came against an indifferent Morocco side. Such is the huge backward step taken by Gambian football that for the first time in many years the Scorpions are out of reckoning in the Nations Cup qualifiers as early as the first round. A team in disarray, not helped by off-field problems. This is a period that calls for urgent examination, and if Gambia plans to join the club of the big boys once more, major surgery will be required to resuscitate the country's ailing football. The 4-1 mauling at the hands of Algeria capped off a disastrous period for the Scorpions. It is the heaviest defeat suffered by the country in more than a decade in competitive action. The Scorpions' 5-1 loss to Ivory Coast in WAFU Championship in 2001 was the last time the team conceded that heavily. 10 years on and after so many managerial changes, this man is now occupying the hot seat. Less than 24 hours after jetting into Banjul, GRTS caught up with Luciano Mancini at an Italian bistro in the posh hotel area in the country. Our mission is to know what went terribly wrong in East Africa and the spectacular collapse in Blida.
Era okay, 1-1.
In Tanzania, everything was okay, even in the camp. It was 1-1. They have given penalty, which is not a correct penalty, and we take the confit. We lose.
The Italian was at pains dissecting the events of Dar es Salaam and Blida, and it was not lost on him that the journey he is embarked upon is not that all too easy one. The state of the game in the Gambia requires some massive reassessment to normalize the situation. Mancini took solace in the performances of some bright young players, notably the precocious talent of Sehu Gassama, who makes a triumphant personal return to the land where he won the African Under-17 Championship in 2009 with a stunning goal.
C'è stato un gran bellissimo gol di Gassama.
It was a wonderful goal by Sekou Gassama, and with that goal the Gambian team have a hope of doing something more, but unfortunately things went like that. But the powerfulness of Algeria has been demonstrated in the field.
There were times during the interview when Mancini carried an air of optimism, but there is no doubting the task confronting this solid-looking Italian who joins the growing list of Europeans who tried without much success to transform Gambian football. The restaurant at least provided the Italian some home away from home and removes him away from the heat of an expectant nation yearning for success. For GRTS Sport, this is Babukar Senghor.
And from sports now, let's now join the Central Forecast Office for a look at the weather.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Quick check at the weather there before we end the news. A reminder of the headlines. Now, officials of Kanilai family farms have made a broad appeal for assistance as pre-planting activities continue to gain momentum. The Senegalo-Gambian Boundary Commission has released a roadmap for the demarcation of the two countries' borders. Residents of 6 Casamance towns and villages are returning to farms they abandoned because of exploded ordinances. An ECOWAS military chiefs meeting in Bamako have agreed to deploy 3,000 troops to Mali as early as next week. You can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live at our website, that is at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That's the news. Thanks for joining us. I am Lamin Banga.